Let's now go to Libya, where the country's UN-backed government has sent NATO a formal request for help. The appeal covers the training and development of Libya's armed forces, which are depleted and are fighting the Islamist militants. NATO currently has a naval operation in the Mediterranean outside Libyan waters. It focuses on counter-terrorism efforts and also assists the European Union monitor and rescue migrants. NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg says the alliance is looking into how it can assist.
We have said for some time that we are ready to help Libya. But of course, any NATO assistance to Libya has to be based on request from the Libyan government, from the government of national accord. This request was the request we received yesterday. So we have just started to look into what kind of help and support, but the request is about help for building security and defense institutions. And that's also what NATO has stated clearly, that we are ready to help them with building institutions. It is extremely important to have good institutions, Minister of Defense, Command, Chief of Staff, Joint Chief of Staffs, and other defense institutions, because Libya needs that framework to be able to develop the forces and stabilize the country.
And let's go to Mariam Zaidi. She's in Brussels. Mariam, NATO says it is considering that request from Libya. What form would any assistance likely take?
Well, Libya, of course, is a key piece of the puzzle for NATO and, of course, for the EU. Now, on Wednesday, NATO defence ministers used the summit to launch a new anti-terrorism hub in Naples to counter threats emanating from North Africa and the Middle East. But obviously, life would, of course, be a lot easier if Libya was stable. Now, as he showed there, today, Jens Stoltenberg, the NATO Secretary-General, said that last night, of course, the Government of National Accords Prime Minister Siraj requested advice from NATO on security and defence building, and underlined that this, of course, was about institution building to let them have the right people in place, of course, from Secretaries of Defence to Army Chiefs of Staff. And, of course, then the goal is for Libya and, of course, for NATO that once Libya then has that framework, it can build its forces and stabilise the country. But simply put, the help to Libya would, of course, be training. But we'll have more on what exactly will be the flesh on the bones in the coming days or weeks.
Well, the request for help, though, has been launched by the UN-backed government, which is yet to win over the support of the Eastern-based government and other militias. How is this likely to impact the request, though?
Well, that's a little bit hard to say, but something perhaps can be found, of course, in the words of the NATO Secretary-General. And he spoke about continuing the support to the UN and the efforts of the Government of National Accord. And this is, of course, the main bit. He said he called on all countries and especially all members of the UN Security Council to support the efforts of the UN and, of course, support the UN-recognised Government of National Accord. So what we know, of course, is that Russia for some months has been trying to exercise influence over the eastern-based Libyan National Army. Now, the European Union itself has been seeking Russia's help to broker a deal with General Haftar to bring all rival Libyan factions under the civilian command of the UN-backed government. The aim, of course, is to prevent the general creating a secular military dictatorship in Libya. So possibly, when he was talking earlier on today, the Secretary-General could have been speaking to Russia and trying to get them on the same page to back the UN-backed Government of National Accord and its efforts, of course, to rebuild Libya.
Right, Mariam Zaidi for us there in Brussels.